We're back here, Philly's #1 college radio station, WHIP. 215-204-9449 is the number if you want to hop on board with us. Now joining me on the hotline is an NFL draft prospect. He is a local kid from Council Rock South, and that's Justin Pugh. Justin, Zach Gelb, and Haley Condon, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing real well. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you for coming on. And I actually took a tour up from Syracuse. Before I selected Temple University, I was considering the Newhouse School, and it's a phenomenal department that they have up there. And when I was on my visit for Syracuse, I went up to this place called the Dinosaur BBQ. I'm sure playing over there in Syracuse for all those years, you've been to that restaurant, right?
Yeah, we have some of our recruiting tips over there. It's probably some of the best barbecue you find up north at least.
Well, that's great to know. And what do you have coming up this week? You have the NFL draft. What are your plans? How are you going to watch the draft?
I'm going to watch Thursday at home with my family and my best friends from high school. So I'm keeping it small for Thursday, and then Friday. If I don't go in the first round on Thursday night, I'm going to have a party. My brother's going to have a party at his house for me. So then the whole neighborhood will be there.
I'm sure a lot of people from the Council Rock area has reached out to you. What has been the feel from that community about your chances of going in the NFL?
They're ecstatic. They're real excited for me. I've gotten a lot of good support from everyone. Just going back to Council Rock South, seeing some of my former coaches and everyone, they're real proud. Probably the first time that I know another Council Rock kid has been in this situation, so it's definitely something new and exciting. I'm just looking forward to getting to Thursday and seeing what it's really like.
Playing football like you have your whole life, I'm sure it was always a dream to get to the NFL, and that's going to happen over the weekend. Do you ever sit there and pinch yourself or go back to your high school days and think, wow, I'm so close to accomplishing my dream?
It really is still surreal at this point. Just until I hear my name called, I still, you put those NFL guys, on this, pedestal, they're, professional athletes. Now that I have a chance to become one, it's still surreal. So once I hear my name called Thursday, then I'll have a better feel of what it feels like. But I'm just excited, man. I'm just excited to go in there and compete and try to win some games.
We've talked to a few NFL prospects, Eddie Lacy from Alabama, Barrett Jones, and other offensive linemen as well. Has your phone been busy during this process, or are a lot of teams still keeping in contact with you, keeping you in the loop as they get ready for the draft coming up on Thursday?
Oh, yeah, right now every team is calling you, asking, they're calling every prospect right now. They want to just confirm your draft day number, asking if there's been any injuries since, your combine or your pro day. What teams are interested in you. I guess they're trying to make that final push to see, where is this guy really going to go, things of that nature. So it's definitely something now where every day there'll be six or seven calls from NFL teams, just checking in on those last-minute things.
We're talking to Justin Pugh. And Justin, a kid by the name of Brandon McManus here at Temple, he's looking to go in the NFL draft as well. He's a kicker, and we were interviewing him at our Cherry and White game, and he said, there's a lot of teams that are interested in me, but the two teams that are showing the most interest is the Giants and the Colts. Give me the two teams that you feel like are showing the most interest in your draft stock.
Right now, I have no idea, to be honest with you. A lot of teams have told me they like me. I've done 10 private workouts and some visits out to teams, but right now I really have no idea. Some teams don't ask you; they ask you not to say anything about it. So out of respect for them, I probably can't mention any names right now. But I just know going in, I've talked to every offensive line coach for every NFL team. I've met formally with the GM, head coach, offensive coordinator of 16 of the teams, and then I've gone on private visits with 3 of the teams. So I've been able to meet the owner and everyone else in the facilities. So there's definitely some interest there for me. Hopefully it's that first round interest, but if not, I'm going to go wherever my name's called and go play hard.
This is a rigorous process, and it's a long one as well. And we sat down with a lot of prospects over the years, and they tell us how many questions they get asked and all that stuff. But let's say if I was an NFL GM and I asked you to describe who Justin Pugh is, what would you say?
Starting off, you got to – obviously we're here to play football, so you start with the football field. I'm a hard-working player. That's something that I think can definitely explain the way I play the games. From the area I'm from, blue-collar town of Philadelphia. And then off the field, I think I'll be a real good leader in the community, something I always gave back to the community. And on the field also, I plan on being a leader on whatever team I get drafted to. Competitive, that's the biggest thing. It's why I love football, because it's the highest level of competitiveness. And playing at the professional level, you're able to see it week in and week out really what you're made of. So I definitely think just being a good guy on and off the field is something that's going to add value to me in the draft, and hopefully it'll help a team draft me in that first round.
There are a lot of positives about your game, but the one negative thing I've heard is that you have short arms. Now, I necessarily don't know what that means in the NFL ranks, but how do you respond to teams when they say, Justin, you have short arms?
Well, first of all, those teams have really commented about my short arms. It's more been all like the draft pundits and analysts. But I just laugh about it because there's nothing I can do about it. I didn't even know I had short arms until I got down. I played in the Senior Bowl. I was the first non-senior to play in the game, and they said my arms were like a half inch too short. But guys like Joe Thomas, Brian Bulaga, Marshall Yanda, who just won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, all have, very similar arm length as I do, and they're able to succeed in the NFL. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm just going to go in there and play whatever position the team needs me to play and compete.
We had Phil Savage on this show, who's the director of the Senior Bowl, and you made some big-time news as you weren't a senior technically, but you still were able to play in the game. How did you go about doing that and convincing that board to get you in the game?
Oh, well, I mean, first off, they had 3 criteria that you had to meet. The first one, you had to have been a graduate of your school. The second one, you had to have been there for 4 years. So I was at Syracuse for 4 football seasons. I just graduated in 3.5 years, so I was there for 4 seasons, 3.5 academic years. And then you had to have your permission from your head coach, which my coach was going to the NFL. He's the head coach for the Buffalo Bills right now.
Doug Marrone,
so he was fine with seeing me go to the Senior Bowl so he could watch me play more. But so I met all the criteria. It was me and DJ Fluker from Alabama that both got the nod, and then he ended up he couldn't play for he was still injured from the national championship game. So I actually ended up being the first guy to play in the game that was a non-senior.
You look at Doug Marrone, and now he's going to be the first-year head coach for the Buffalo Bills, and that's a team that's been looking to win for so many years. And there was one time where they got to a bunch of Super Bowls in a row, but they weren't able to get the job done. What does Doug Marrone bring to Buffalo?
Oh, he's a player's coach. He's definitely going to look out for his guys, but he definitely runs a tight ship. He makes sure he's the guy that is making all the right decisions. And the thing about at Syracuse, he was all about building the man. He wanted to make sure that we never felt awkward in any situation, so we did etiquette classes. We did leadership training. We went and did a bunch of different community service. He took us to a play one time. I mean, the things he did was more trying to build a man, and then once you build a man the right way, he's able to produce in the football field. So I think at Buffalo, obviously it's a little different being in the NFL. You can't mold the guys as much because some guys are 35 years old, have kids. But he's definitely going to go in there and run the program the right way, run the organization the right way. And I think that's something that you'll see in the way he drafts the players he brings in. He brings in the right type of guy. And I think that's the way it starts. I think it's the way Coach Marrone's going to win in Buffalo. Going
back to the good old days of the NFL, I remember Vince Lombardi, and obviously I wasn't alive for this, but he used to take his players to ballets, and they would have him practice in those kinds of settings as well. So what was the reaction in the locker room, though, when Coach came into Syracuse and said, we're going to a play?
I mean, guys have started to joke around about it, but I mean, it was fun. It was fun to be with the guys, be with your brothers that you go out there and play with every Saturday. So everyone kind of joked around a little bit and kind of giving the coaches a hard time. But at the end of the day, everyone was cool with it. I mean, it was something that I haven't been to many plays throughout my life, so it's definitely a cool experience to see that. And it's just good to show the community as well that we're there and we're not just there to just play football or just go to school. We're there to go out into the community and see what everything has to offer.
Zach Gelb, Haley Condon here with you, Philly's #1 college radio station, WHIP. We're talking to Justin Pugh. And, Justin, you leave Syracuse early. What factored into that decision? Why did you decide to leave the Orange?
Well, I played 3 seasons. I had to get eligibility remaining. I could have came back for my 5th year. But going into the year, I knew I was going to get my degree. My mom being a teacher, she said that I had to get my degree if I wanted to declare. So I took 4 extra classes in the summer and an extra class in the fall to make sure I graduated on time or ahead of time. And then coming back, I got injured last spring ball. I missed the first 4 games of the regular season this past year. And then coming back after my injury, we went 7-9 down the stretch. Won our bowl game. We beat West Virginia easily in our bowl game, which was a great way to cap off my career. And I felt like it was time to go. And then Coach Marrone had left. He left for the Bills. The whole offensive staff left. So I felt like it was my time to go. And it definitely was the best decision I could have made.
I'm from New York, although I am a Mets fan. I understand that you played that pinstripe game in Yankee Stadium, and there's so much history in that place, and it's a new stadium as well. But what was that experience like playing in Yankee Stadium?
Oh, it was unreal. I mean, playing in that stadium, we were in the Yankees locker room because we were the home team, and I actually used Derek Jeter's locker with my locker for the game. And going into the training room, basically it was like a shrine to Babe Ruth. They had these old pictures, some of the old hot tubs they used. They had scale. So really, it is a tribute to all the greats that played there. They did a great job. Obviously, the Yankees, they're not scared to spend some money to make sure things look first class, and they definitely achieved that. And it was something that playing in New York City, I was able to go to the 9/11 Memorial. Our whole team went. Got to ring the stock exchange bell to open the stock exchange one day. See the Statue of Liberty, do things like that. It was an awesome experience for me. I'll never forget it.
Looking back at all your time at Syracuse, and it could be that Pinstripe Bowl game, but was that the best memory for you when you look back at your playing career?
Yeah, I think that was kind of the exclamation point in my career, and it definitely was able to send us out as winners. Because I had promised during one of the basketball games, I had promised all the fans that we would come home and win that game, and so I held true to my promise. Definitely was a good feeling for me.
It's a new era for Syracuse football as we're talking to Justin Pugh, but this is a program that is on the rise, and you've had all the conference changes. But let's say if you were sitting down with the recruit that was a friend of yours, what would you say about Syracuse University? Why should a football player go there?
Well, first off, they're playing in a very good conference. The ACC is a great conference. We're going to play good football. As you can see in the past years, we've won it the right way. I tell him, look at all the guys that we've produced in the past few years, not only as football players, but also in the community. We have guys that have gone on, to law school, guys are getting into broadcasting. So it's definitely something where, we're not just building a program where it's just, hey, once you're here for football, once you're done, you can't come back, you can't do anything else. We have guys going to grad school. So it's kind of something I would tell his parents as well as him. And then also, you look at the product we put on the field. You look at some of the best players in the past few years. We're starting to get a lot more guys to the NFL. Last year we had a first-round pick. This year there's a potential we have 2 first-round picks. So definitely getting guys ready for that next level is something that's big for these young players. So I think it's definitely something that's helped us. We have a couple 4 or 5-star commits now, which everyone talks about. It's a big thing in high school. So it's definitely a good thing where the program's heading, and I'm excited to see where we end up next year.
And your quarterback that you played with at Syracuse, he's similar to you, as some people are saying he could go late in the first round or maybe in that second-round range, but what can he bring to an NFL team?
Ryan's a great leader. Just this whole year, he kind of made a transformation from his junior year, and he really played well. So I think he's a smart kid. I think he got a 42 on his Wonderlic. He was a accounting and finance major, a dual major, so he definitely has it all. And he can make any throw on the football field. Football is not even the question. He won, he said, every Syracuse passing record. So he's definitely going to be a good thing. I can't wait to see where he ends up.
Right before we let you go, and the draft's coming up on Thursday, and hopefully you go in the first round. If not, I'm sure you'll go on Friday. But give me the number one strength about your game.
My versatility. And athleticism. I think my versatility, I can play multiple positions on the offensive line. It's probably because of my athleticism that I can play those positions, and I'm really trying to sell the teams that I can play all 5 offensive line positions, and I think it's going to add value to my stock and get me into that first round.
We'll be watching for your name to be called. We appreciate the time today. Thanks so much. Let's do it again real soon.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me on. Have a good one.
There we go. Justin Pugh, NFL prospect coming up. Would be interesting to see if the Eagles take him. A nice little local kid, possibly finding his way and watching the team that he grew up in. But Philly's number 1 college radio station, WHIP, 215-204-9449 is the number if you want to hop on board with us. We'll take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll do a little Allen Iverson talk, as there's been some controversial news about him. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back right after these short messages.